Zarko Djukic was got the MVP award, so both responded to the fact that they were relegated to the bench, although obviously in Page's case, he spent 4 years in college at West Virginia coming off the bench. So as Dave's already mentioned then, those two are not starting again tonight. The Eagles start with number 1, Saw Nimley, number 7, Yuri Gunhina, number 22, Jamal Williams, number 23, Kai Williams, and number 21, Andrew Lasker, who will also captain the side in the absence of Darius Defoe. For the Flyers, they've just changed things around slightly. Rondell Goodwin comes back into the starting five alongside Jordan Davis. Leslee Smith and Mike Vigo, the two bigs in there, and they're joined by Brandon Boggs, who's the leading scorer. So it should be a very interesting game, hopefully a very competitive game, and one you can all enjoy. And just before I hand back to Dave again, just before we get underway, I'd like to give a big shout out to Duo Ballers Pizza Parlour down there in Bristol, where I understand you've got the game on the giant screen tonight and offering good deals on pizzas and drinks, and hopefully you've got a good crowd in there watching the game, and mine and Dave commentary will help you enjoy it.
Well, in that case then I'll start by mentioning the only person I haven't mentioned, which is the starting point guard, Jonathan Davis. I have seen him play before because he played for Sheffield last year, and a guy who likes, or he did at Sheffield, I don't know whether he's got the same role here, but he liked to get involved in a lot of pick and rolls.
Bristol it was that won the tip. They're on offense for first time. Here is Davis, almost stolen away by Saw Nimley. Leslee Smith has a little look to inside. Jamal Williams blocks him out well. Shot clock down to 5, down to 4. Smith's going to have to shoot a long 2, but he makes that long 2, showing good range.
Yeah,
in fact, it was given as a 3 there. I think I'm not sure whether that's quite right, but perhaps his shot was outside his feet were outside the arc when he shot, but they certainly were inside the arc when he landed.
Well, points-wise, he's obviously continuing well left off against London. But what's interesting in that first offence for the Bristol Flyers was how quickly they went to use the height in that high-low exchange between Smith and Vigo.
On the other end, Eagles turnover there. Jamal Williams came inside. He tried to find Yuri Gunhina, who in trying to gather the ball in had to flick the ball out, and it went out of bounds. So it's a turnover for the Eagles, and it's Bristol back on offence for the chance to just go up that gap straight away. He has Boggs, he'll look to shoot, comes inside, nice move, tries to get the ball to Davis, but Lasker intercepts it. Jamal Williams to Yuri Gunhina, he tried to find Saw Nimley, but Brandon Boggs came back, and that's 2 turnovers already for Yuri Gunhina, and up goes the 3 from Brandon Boggs. He misses that, but Jordan Davis has come up with 2 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds there.
Well, I think what's clear with Jordan Davis is he's playing exactly the same way he did against Sheffield, which is he thinks pass before he even thinks about whether he's in any sort of scoring rotation with them. I know he can score, but he's certainly a true point guard in the emphasis on getting the team involved in setting up the play first and him second.
It's Goodwin with his left-handed jump shot just falling short, and Jamal Williams pulls in the rebound. Ball in the hands of Saw Nimley for the first time. He drives to the basket, lays it up, it doesn't go in. Mike Vigo comes away with the rebound. He finds Davis in the open court. Davis does drive to the basket this time, but he can't make it again. And Andrew Lasker comes up with the rebound. He had 14 rebounds last week, Drew Lasker, and there's the one for him straight away. And I think Jamal Williams has received the pass from his brother Kai, but he was just stood out of bounds. And that's another Eagles turnover. That's 3 turnovers in the first 3 offences.
Well, 3 turnovers, one of which is this stepping out of bounds, which seems to happen an awful lot here, and I'm sure it's happening on other courts as well. I think all these players are trying to make a case that they want to go to an NBA-sized court, which is slightly bigger, not much bigger, but it is slightly bigger.
Certainly, they can't blame the court markings, because it's one of the courts in the league that is really well marked out. Here's Bristol now back on the offense, and Davis again trying to set something up. Nimley all over him, lob pass into Boggs inside the paint. His shot comes off the side of the backboard, is picked up by Yuri Gunhina. He's going to go all the way, and all the way in, coast to coast, lays it in left-handed, and the Eagles are on the board. Back come Bristol straight away with Boggs. His shot's off, and long rebound there for Rondell Goodwin, and he manages to put it in. He's foul in the act of shooting.
Well, Goodwin looks, just checking on his stats as we speak. Yeah, he's 5.4 rebounds a game, and he does get to the offensive glass, but that was a really smart move from him. He was very, very quickly in to catch onto that loose ball around the rim and put it back up for the 2 points.
Foul is on Jamal Williams, so Rondell Goodwin goes to the line to shoot 2. Actually, sorry, it was just a 1 because he made the basket, didn't he? So, but he's missed the free throw anyway.
Yeah. I mean, for Brandon Boggs, who I think he's scoring about 15.3 points a game, he'll be really disappointed with his points tally on Tuesday against London, and the way he's playing tonight, they know he's going to be better because he's put 2 really weak shots up and also missed a wide open putback.
There's Leslee Smith going from another long shot for the big man, but that one doesn't come, and the Eagles are able to tidy it up. Saw Nimley going to the basket. He's fouled by Davis. He'll go to the line to shoot 2 as well, trying to bring the Eagles back to within 1.
Well, I think Nimley's taken the decision there that after 3 early turnovers, if he keeps the ball in his hand and he can penetrate the way he's doing there, then he's going to cause more problems than the Eagles were creating by moving the ball around.
No movement from the Eagles bench yet either. So if Nimley can knock these 2 down, knocks the first down. 75% free throw shooter.
Here we go. Cursed again.
Yep, absolutely. I'm going to keep
Jeff, you better let me talk about free throws for the rest of the season.
Brandon Boggs at the other end.
Really don't know what this guy's playing at the moment. Brandon's obviously very anxious to get some points to feel good about it, but that's not the way to do it.
Nice jump shot from Leslie Smith again.
He's a threat, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's a threat inside, but he's already shown from outside that he can knock down shots as well. And Bristol up to a early 7-3 lead, and Eagles just struggling a little bit on offense. Up goes the 3 from Nimley, and Kai Williams got up really high there to knock that ball back, but I think there was a foul called inside on Mike Vigo. Yes, there was. So Eagles will get an end line ball.
Well, that's got Kai Williams out of jail because he was absolutely all over that, and he used the player's body to get off the ground. So well spotted with the referee. He took the absolute right decision call, the first one he saw first.
Zarko Djukic coming on for the Eagles to replace Jamal Williams. First change for the Eagles. There's Drew Lasker, gives it to Kai Williams. Back to Nimley. Shot clock inside 5. Nimley again driving to the basket, but can't make the layup. Bristol come away with the ball. There's Goodwin, he'll shoot the 3. It hits the front of the rim and bounces out. Great rebound by Leslie Smith though. He'll turn round, go to the basket, in it goes, and that'll be an and 1 play for Leslie Smith, who's been very, very impressive in the early going. Foul is on Kai Williams. Leslie Smith has a chance to go into the line to shoot a free throw, and I'll not mention his free throw shooting.
No, okay, but you can mention now that the second of the intended impact players from the bench is coming in.
Yeah.
Williams' brothers go out, and obviously Zarko and Jay Sean replace them. Well, there's one thing for certain, Jeff. At this point, early days maybe, but there's certainly no hangover from the performance against London on Tuesday night.
Leslie Smith knocks down the free throw clean as a whistle, and Bristol lead by 7 points, 10-3, and as Dave said, Jay-Sean Page now on. Pretty much as Djukic receives a pass from Lasker, Djukic is going to drive at the basket. His reverse layup is off, and Leslie Smith comes down with a rebound.
Yeah, well, Smith.
Jordan Davis pushing it off to Brandon Boggs for 3. Hits the front of the rim, doesn't make it. Battle for the rebound there, and Bristol get it. Jordan Davis shoots a 3. His shot's off. Another battle for the rebound. And this time, the ball's taken by a real.
Obviously, incidental contact.
Yeah.
Is that the correct term?
Well, it's obviously incidental or accidental because it hasn't been called either way.
I thought it was a blatant push in the back, to be honest.
Yeah. But here's the Eagles' end line ball, and that's been put in by Gunina to Nimley. Nimley looking to set a play up, finds Page. Djukic comes across, takes the ball to the top of the 3-point line. There's nice footwork by Jay-Sean Page to come inside. Gunina finds Lasker going to the basket, but he's blocked by Leslie Smith. Adam Weary, who's come on, he makes a move forward. Mike Vigo gets free of Lasker from Leslie Smith's pass, and suddenly it's Flyers 12-3. Yeah.
I think he's making another substitution, but my feeling is that maybe this warrants a timeout. Oh, that was excellent.
And the alley-oop pass from Saw Nimley's knocked home there by Zarko Djukic for the Eagles' 5th point, but straight at the other end. We see Rondell Goodwin going past Yuri Gunhina a little bit too easily there.
Well, Jeff, I think that's the conclusion we have to draw at the moment. The Eagles' defence is too soft right now.
But it's interesting as we say that Fab Flanoy looks like he's ready to come on. He comes on, and actually, Dave, great call, because the Eagles, in fact, haven't made the substitution. What they've done is they've taken that time out.
Yeah, I felt all along that was needed, because there's just no strong sense of purpose in the Eagles' performance, lacking a bit in energy. Bristol completely doing what they want, that high-low situation between Leslee Smith and Michael Vigo's working a treat for them, and other players are looking to take advantage of any attempts the Eagles make to stop that high-low situation, producing an easy look for them. So at the moment, well played Bristol. Eagles have got some work to do in this timeout.
It looks like Flanoy will come on. Just trying to see in the bench, see who's going to be moving away. I actually think it might have been Saw Nimley. I thought it was going to be Saw Nimley that came off, but then obviously it was a timeout, so perhaps it won't be Nimley. But just looking at the bench there, it does look as though Nimley's taking a seat further down the bench, and that Flanoy seems to be talking to 4 guys plus himself really, and I think it will be Saw Nimley that takes a seat. Interesting to see whether Bristol make any changes. Adam Weary did sneak on there when I didn't notice him, so he is on at the moment for, I think it's Brandon Boggs who went out, which probably doesn't surprise you.
Well, I was surprised, and now I'm not, because I was surprised that Nimley was going to be the one taken out, because I felt if anybody who had a sense of purpose in this game and was showing good control, I thought it was Saw Nimley. Now, whether it's a tactic, you know, both those two are known to put up early threes, whether it's a tactic to keep them apart a little bit, I don't know, but I think it's a sensible decision to keep Saw on at this stage.
Yeah, Yuri Gunhina takes the seats, and that's probably as much as a result of the last defensive play as anything else. Adam Weary turns the corner, tries to drive in with good defense from Zarko Djukic inside, and there's a lob pass from Vigo to Daniel Edozie, who's come on at the moment for Leslee Smith. So we have Leslee Smith sitting down, Brandon Boggs sitting down, Daniel Edozie and Adam Weary coming on, and I think Panos Mayandumbi's are also taking the place on, and Jordan Davis is moved out. Yes, Nimley with the floater which hits the front of the rim. Eagles battle better for an offensive rebound that time. Page will go and try and drive in hard. He tries to find Lasker making a good cut, but Rondell Goodwin got a good hand on it and knocked it free. Eagles ball end line.
Well, there just seemed to be a massive emphasis, Jeff, on the Eagles sharing the ball and trying to move the ball around, but I think there should be a massive emphasis on bringing those big guys away from the basket. And that's one way to do it, the drive and put it up, and the offensive rebounder coming in from the weak side. But the other thing is, setting a few threes on and pull them away from the basket, but they'll be just content just to rim protect.
Eagles did, in the locker room before the game, did talk about sharing the ball and making sure that they got good shots, but at the moment they just seem to be struggling a wee bit with that. There's Vigo, a nice, hot, strong move, missed the first shot, but got his own offensive rebound and puts his side up by 9. It's 16-7. And this time it's Zarko Djukic again. Nice slip pass from Saw Nimley. Gets to the basket, rises well, lays it in, and is fouled in the act of doing so. And he will go to the line to shoot the extra one.
Well, I think Nimley's made a really good start tonight. He's controlling things. He's trying to get the Eagles to share the ball around, as you say. But Djukic again. What did we say about him early season? The thing that really impressed us is the way he works without the ball. Yeah, and that was a perfect example of it there, and he got his rewards of getting the 2 points. Doesn't make the free throw, which I was going to say didn't surprise us because he is only a 52% free throw shooter. But Eagles back within 7 now. Leslee Smith and Brandon Boggs both back on. Here's Leslee Smith driving hard to the basket, finds great layoff to Daniel Edozie, and a nice layup, nice easy layup for Edozie. Here's Djukic again, he goes back. Flanoy looking to knock down a 3, knocks it down beautifully. He's really in rhythm for that shot as well. Perfectly taken, perfect balance. A great shot from Fab Flanoy. Takes it back to 6 points. There's Leslee Smith, he's going to go for 3 as well, and he knocks it down as well. He's been very, very impressive early on, Dave. Yeah, well, I mean, I think 11 points already. Those 3, think about it, those 3 home losses definitely quietened this crowd a little bit. And what Fab did there, I thought, really got them going. But unfortunately, Smith took the wind out the sails straight away.
And again, another Eagles turnover. This time Page couldn't control Flanoy's pass and stepped out of bounds.
Early thoughts on this idea of switching things around. It's working with Jukic. He's coming and being real impact, and at the moment Page is struggling to get going.
Ryan Dombey gives the ball off to Weary, who's took over the point guard duties from Davis. He sets the screen. Nice screen for him to give Weary an open shot, but he misses it. And once again, Drew Lasker's the man who comes up with the rebound. Here's Saw Nimley. He's going to try and drive to the basket. 2 or 3 times, turns it around. He has Jukic for 3. That one's off. Daniel Edozie takes the rebound. Weary at the other end. Long 2 is short. Jukic back to take the rebound, and he finds his point guard Nimley. 1:55 to go in a very, very quick first quarter. Nimley, nice step to the basket, but can't make the layup. Thought he was fouled, but nothing doing. Ryan Dumley finds Smith. Smith's going to go all the way, I think, here. Yep. Nothing the Eagles can do to stop the power of Leslee Smith at the moment, who's up to 13 points of Bristol's 23, and they lead by 11, 23-12.
Leslee Smith's season average, Jeff, is 11.4 points per game. Wow. He's on fire.
13 points in 1 quarter. He has Page with a very long 3. Doesn't go. Brandon Boggs pulls a very easy, almost uncontested rebound down. He finds Smith outside. Smith's going to go for it again, and he's knocked it down again. I think he's even surprising himself, judging by that reaction. Another 3-point shot and 16 points. Bristol up to 26. Inside the last minute of the first quarter.
I noticed just a little bit of change of emphasis there from Coach Kapoulas, because what he was doing prior to this last Eagles offense was he was on his feet signalling numbers, which clearly is a very little bit of a containing press. So ideally what they're trying to do is to make the Eagles, and I've noticed this all game long so far, the Eagles having to initiate their offense very, very high. But on that situation there, following that 3, immediately pushed them back.
Eagles making, inside the last minute, they're making another couple of changes. Kai Williams comes back in court, and AJ Bassey for the first time, and he's found by Flanoy from the end line. Bassey tries to shoot a 3, it's well off, but Flanoy's awake and alive to the situation. He picked up the rebound. Zarko Jukic, nice turnaround jump shot, but that just rims out. Ryan Dumby takes the rebound. He finds Weary. Weary goes past Page very, very easily indeed. Nice step from Weary. He gets to the basket, and suddenly it's a 16-point lead at 28-12. The Eagles with a lot of things to think about when they come up to that break, which probably cannot come soon enough for them. They are on an offense here. They're all looking to try something. Here's Flanoy. He's open. He's going to drive in, and I think that'll be a foul on Leslee Smith. Yeah, foul on Leslee Smith as Flanoy drove in. Bristol in the penalty, so Flanoy will go to the line to shoot 2. Just looking at the Eagles' body language there seems to be a lot of talk. They don't seem to be quite sure who's doing what at the moment. Kai Williams, Jason Page and AJ Bassey having a long conversation as Flanoy goes to the line to shoot 2 with 15.8 to go in the quarter. Fab's first one's up and in. Second one's good as well. Flanoy up to 5 points already. He's got 5. Jukic has got 6, and that's 11 of the Eagles, 14 from 2 guys from the bench. Bristol holding for the last shot here. Weary. Nice screen set by Leslee Smith. Weary goes in. Here goes the floater. He misses it. Smith almost comes up with it, but Weary, it was who ended up coming for it. Just checking to see whether that was a foul call right on the buzzer. No, it was just the buzzer. So quite an astonishing first quarter there, Dave. 28 to Bristol, 14 to Newcastle, and 16 points for Leslee Smith. The standout stat, really.
Well, I don't know. Obviously, Smith's been working hard on his offensive game, because including the London game, he was on 11.4 points per game, but he's having an absolutely outstanding game in terms of scoring the points. But, you know, Eagles averaging 94 points for the season. Bristol averaging 80 points. The way this game's going, it's going to end up about 130 to 60 to Bristol Flyers. Now, I'm sure that won't happen, and I'm sure that the Eagles will find a way, but right now the Eagles defense, it's probably the weakest and the poorest I've ever seen it.
Another again, another interesting stat, just again to look at that man, Smith. He's actually got 5 rebounds as well, Dave. So, you know, 6 or 7 shooting, 3 or 3 from 3-point range. You could almost say he's only done one, he's missed one shot. That's the only thing he's done wrong. Fantastic performance in that first quarter.
Yeah, well, right now this is all about the coaching situation, because the tactics put in by Andreas Kapoulas are working. His defensive tactics are sort of a little light, sort of disruptive, containing press that really is making the Eagles enter their offense very high, which they don't seem to be particularly comfortable with. But frankly, that high-low play that he put in right from the start is causing the Eagles all sorts of problems. And it's almost like they're looking for that even when it's not happening. So there's some adjustment to do here by Fab Flanoy, who seems to be certainly handling the main points of this. I know he often, well, he's playing Let's Dave Forrester, but Flab clearly feels the responsibility for changing this around, resting his shoes.
Of course, the other little advantage Bristol would have had is that obviously with Andreas Kapoulas being the England coach, he would have known well in advance that Darius Defoe wasn't going to be playing tonight, and obviously could prepare his team knowing that he wouldn't be facing Defoe.
Well, you know, Eagles are not with, I mean, yeah, they've got a big front line, 6'8", 6'8", 6'9", but the Eagles have got some, you know, Zukic plays above his height. I've seen him really well protect the rim. He gets off the ground, he can block shots, he's a tremendous slam dunker. And the two William boys, you know, are not lightweight. They've got some body weight about them. They should be able to keep these guys off the boards.
So Eagles get the second quarter underway with on the offense. Flanoy finds Bassey. Bassey thinks about a shot. Jason Page comes round. Flanoy at the free throw line. Nice pass, nice layoff to Jason Page, but Jason Page, as you already pointed to, hasn't got going, and there was a massive block there by I think it was Daniel Adozi.
Yeah.
And at the other end, Brandon Boggs, luckily for the Eagles, hasn't got going just yet. AJ Bassey finds Jukic, he finds Bassey, and Bassey coming inside. Eagles really looking well off the pace at the moment, though. There's a 3 goes up from Page. Smith takes the rebound. He has Davis back on running the offense. Smith's going to, well, he's got the hot hand. He probably could have gone all the way there if he wanted to. But Bristol have come back out. Obviously, Bristol feeling they can control the game a little bit with having this lead. And we've got Rondell Goodwin shaking, baking, turning around. Nice left-handed jump shot. He makes that. And they're now up by 16 points for the first points of the second quarter.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup for AJ, That's a really tough matchup for him.
Yes, Flanoy finds Jukic to Page. Page takes that first step, and Goodwin's not quick enough to match it, and it's a clear, easy foul.
Well, I think that was a really smart feed, because if you look at that, the way that offense was set up, that was almost like an isolation play for Jason Page, and he's going to go past anybody in that situation. He's got such a quick first step.
Leslee Smith takes a break. Mike Vigo comes back on court. Fab Flanoy takes a break, and Jamal Williams comes back on court. It's interesting, I was talking to someone before the game, and they were trying to tell me that Fab Flanoy was completely done as a player, but on just the little performance he's put in tonight, he's done okay. And there's Jason Page doing okay as well, as he managed to get inside the paint and get a 2-point jump shot off, and the Eagles have come up with a turnover at the other end, but this time it's Page going to the basket. He got nowhere near on the layup.
He's normally so reliable on that drive and that soft kiss off the glass. But I just looked before he made that point. How often do you look at a scoreboard in the Eagles and find that Nimley and Page are both on 0?
Yeah. There's Jordan Davis to put the ball in. He finds Adozi, not a threat from there, but Boggs is a threat from there, but that great hands from Jukic, who knocks the ball away. AJ Bassey going strong to the basket, but once again, layup missed under pressure from Mike Vigo. And this is the thing about Bristol, they've challenged virtually every shot at that end and haven't made anything easy for the Eagles. But I still think the Eagles should have made some of those shots, but at the other end, good work by Jamal Williams forcing the Bristol turnover on Rondell Goodwin. Saw Nimley going to the bench, probably to replace AJ Bassey. It's Jamal Williams, and he has Page for 3. That one comes back out as well. Goodwin takes the long rebound, turns around Page very, very easily again. and makes a good. Really, that was a very poor defensive play from Jason Page.
It was a no defensive play.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
And there was no real effort either. Everybody saw what was happening on the weak side, and nobody really bust the proverbial to get there and shut him off.
Eagles taking some really, they've taken some shots which were right shots to take, but there's just nothing going down from them at all at the moment. Here's Adozie at the other end. Davis turns the corner. He's met by Williams and Bassey. Locked up. Vigo finds Adozie driving to the basket. Nice little bounce. And up he goes. 2 points for the Flyers. And then it's now 34-16. Jukic at the other end. He's the one man who looks as if he can do something for the Eagles. And he's made that reverse layup there. Flournoy desperate to get substitutions into the game. Is at the other end, Brandon Boggs wide open, but he misses that 2-point shot.
I think he's going to shoot all night and maybe not make the shot the way he's looking at the moment.
The Eagles coming back, trying to set something up, but very tight defense from Bristol. But AJ Bassey got to the free throw line, drove into the middle and knocks down a nice jumper for 2 points. 20-34 in favour of the away side. And really, with 6:13 to go in this quarter, everything in their favour at the moment. Surely can play the game they want to play. Eagles got to start making some shots somewhere. Here's Vigo from outside. He's missed that shot, but it's a great rebound taken by Daniel Adozie. And that's a foul on Jamal Williams as he took that rebound. Bristol bench very, very excited, jumping around. And here are those substitutions for the Eagles. Page coming out, that's not really a surprise. Bassey coming out, again, not really a surprise, but Jukic also coming out, possibly a surprise, but also he has put an awful lot of effort in since he come on, unlike some of the Eagles at the moment. So it's Nimley, Gunhina and Lasker back on, and I think Bristol made a couple of substitutions as well.
They did, and what they're doing is they're keeping this triple tower threat. They've got the three bigs, and there's always two of them on the floor. And it's causing the Eagles all sorts of problems, and so is their own ball handling. Yeah. There's some really bad unforced errors at the moment among the Eagles, just lacking that little bit of confidence out there. They need somewhere. I thought that three from Fab might have given them the spark, but that's not proved to be the case.
Drew Lasker had come up with a good steal there, but as you say, when he gave the ball to Jamal Williams fumbled it and it went out of bounds. There's Leslie Smith, turnaround jump shot, that's good for two. First points of the quarter, but it's still 18 points so far for the game. 5.5 minutes left of the second quarter, and obviously the first half. Kai Williams backing in, he finds Lasker bouncing and jumping, and that's a foul, I think, on Jordan Davis. So Drew Lasker will go to the line to shoot two. I think sometimes in a situation like this, it's an unusual situation for the Eagles to be in, and the substitutions tend to come thick and fast, and it doesn't always look as if they're quite sure which of the substitutions they want to make. It looks to me now as if, looking across there, Flournoy and Forrest are talking, it looks like Flournoy's going to come back on. Meanwhile, Lasker has made the first one. He misses a second one, and even Drew Lasker's not missing a free throw. It doesn't look, that can happen, but he's been shooting it at 93% this season so far, so even that's an unusual thing for the Eagles. Vigo backing down there with Kai Williams, but can't get the shot over. Gunhina comes away with the rebound. He finds Kai Williams, who gives it to his brother Jamal. He's trying to turn Leslie Smith. Nice work from Gunhina to get free. Knocks down a 2-point shot from the free throw line. Better offense all around there from the Eagles. But they're still 13 points adrift, and Bristol still well in control of this game with Adam Weary coming forward. He looked as if he was going to drive all the way to the basket. Decides to come back to Leslie Smith. Leslie Smith asking for a pick from Vigo, didn't get it, so Weary has to drive to the basket. He misses his shot, and that man Lasker comes up with another rebound to Gunhina, to Kai Williams. Kai Williams looking for a pass, completely almost ignored Mike Vigo, who took the ball off him quite cleanly. And obviously at the other end, Kai Williams and then forced almost into a foul on Mike Vigo. Very poor play from Kai Williams, both in turning the ball over and then coming up with the foul. Vigo's shot dropped in, so it's an and one situation if he goes to the line.
Well, you can't fault Mike Vigo there that he made the and one, but Kai by far the greater foot speed of the two. I thought would have been able to get past him and square up to him, play him square rather than just alongside of him.
Vigo makes the iron one, and it's 23-39 in favour of Bristol. Flynn has come back on. He's come back on for Jamal Williams, and Jason Page has also come on for Kai Williams. Flynn thought about the shot. He has Nimley trying to turn the corner. He's hassled by Leslee Smith. Great defence from Smith. Gunhina has to put up a three. He misses that by a long way, but Drew Lasker comes up with an offensive rebound. Nimley finds Page wide open in the corner, but he can't knock the three down. But Nimley comes up with a good hands on that one to stop the pass going, knocks it free. It'll be an end-line ball for Bristol. 3:52 to go, and they lead by 16. And Eagles still only on 23 points in 16 minutes of play. Goodwin inbounds to Vigo. He takes the ball nicely inside to Adam Weary, who beats Saw Nimley to the ball and lays it in for 2 more points for Bristol. And at the moment, it doesn't look as if anything is changing in this game. There's Nimley going to the basket again. He's missed it again. That's about 7 points. 7 shots he's missed now, Saw Nimley, but he was fouled in the act of shooting that one, so he will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
Well, Bristol are certainly, if you look at the shooting percentages over the season, Bristol are certainly playing to the strengths, because they're only hitting 30.5% for the season. The Eagles are much better at 35, although I think that was a lot better than that until a few weeks ago, but they are very, very good around the basket, and they're playing to that strength.
That foul was actually by Leslee Smith, which might be a bit of a blow for Bristol the way he was playing, because that's actually his 3rd foul, so he's had to take a seat. And I don't suppose we'll see him for the rest of the half. Nimley makes both free throws.
Now it's going to make him be very wary in the 3rd quarter as well. That could be a little bit of crumb of a comfort for the Eagles there.
Having said that, you would probably have expected Smith to have slowed down from the rate he was going at as well. Yes, Goodwin turns the corner against 2 Eagles, but can't make that layup. Yuri Gunhina picks up the rebound. Page at the other end going coast to coast, drops it down. Little bit of a fist bump there from Jason Page to say, finally I've made one. And it's enough for Coach Andreas Kapoulas just to call a timeout, probably just to steady things down and have a little bit of a think, because although they're still well in front, they have lost their main outlet in Leslee Smith from tonight. So a very sensible timeout, I would have said, Dave.
Well, I think he might be a little bit upset with the 2 things. One is they've gone away from what they were doing well in the offense. I mean, that was a really hard move by Goodwin. Everything they'd been doing before that, they were moving the ball and taking advantage of the easy chances they were creating. That was more like a 1-on-5 move, which I know he won't want. And the other thing is, I don't think they're defending the route to the basket in transition anywhere near as well as they were at the start, whether that's the fact that Smith was the main guy in that as the rim protector, but Dorsey and Vigo are big bodies as well, but they certainly haven't defended the main route to basket very well in transition.
So it'll be interesting to see if Bristol come up with any changes. The Eagles haven't made any changes. They've still got the 3-guard rotation there with Page, Lasker and Nimley, and the 2 forwards being Flanoy and Gunhina. Mayan Dumby comes back out for Bristol. He's back on court with Mike Vigo, Adam Weary, Rondell Goodwin and Daniel Adozi. Here we go for the last 3 minutes plus of the first half, which has been a bit of a surprising first half from an Eagles point of view, and a very pleasing one from Bristol's. 41-27 they lead, and they're off on offense again with a chance to increase it again. Nice pass down low by Weary. Lasker and Flanoy try to strip it clear, and referee calls the foul. I think possibly on Fab Flanoy it was given on the arm.
Well, Vigo will probably look back at that and realise the one thing you don't do when you get the ball in the key is put the balls down against the Eagles, because they rake in so quick. And obviously he's got the height to get that ball up above his head and protect it, and either make a shot or find a teammate.
He's shooting a 3 there, and he's been fouled by Drew Lasker in the act of shooting the 3. He'll go to the line to shoot 3 free throws. Interesting when you look at that. He's not the highest percentage free throw shooter, but he's also not a very high percentage 3-point shooter as well. So It'll be interesting to see how he goes here.
Well, I'm wondering why suddenly Vigo, who scores at 53.1% around the basket and only 25% from out on the three-point line, is suddenly wanting to join in taking three-point shots. But I mean, he's lucky there, because that was unfortunate for Drew Lasker. Don't foul a three-point shooter, and he did.
And he's missed the first 2 of his 3, both just hit the front of the rim.
Well, I'll say it for you, he's only 57%. That means he's going to miss this one as well.
Well, if he's 57% by the law of averages, he should make this one. There you go.
There you go.
Flanoy inbounds to Nimley. Nimley now looking, will he take this 3-point shot? Nope. Flanoy, if he finds Page, Page thinks about the 3, thinks about the drive, jumps up for the 2-point shot, knocks down his 2-point shot. 42-29, back come Bristol, 2:37 to go in the half. Montgomery finds Goodwin, Goodwin back to Weary. Weary finds Goodwin in the corner, can't take the shot, good work. Good close out by Yuri Gunhina. Inside the last 5 seconds, so Weary has to take a long 3-point shot. He misses it. Ball's bouncing around, and it looked like Bristol were going to come up with a rebound, but Eagles managed to get enough hands on it, and Daniel Odozie and Drew Lasker contesting the loose ball, and it's Odozie who knocks it out of bounds for an Eagles ball. As Nimley brings it forward for the Eagles. Over halfway, looking to work off Flanoy's screen. Throws the ball back.
Yep, I had a feeling that was coming. I'm not sure it's justified, but I had a feeling that was coming.
That's been called an unsportsmanlike foul by Jason Page on halfway. He was given a tough pass to take there by Nimley, and you know, just pushed his arm out straight away to try and give himself the room. It was called immediately by referee Tom Muddleman. So Goodwin going to the line to shoot 3, knocks the first one down.
That was a very, very, very loose and careless pass from Sar Nimley, and a very, very difficult one. And he reacted in a typical way when he didn't quite get hold of it. He just made a grab for the... I don't know whether he went for the player or not, but in the end, that was the decision which gives Bristol the 2 from the line and possession of the ball. At a really good time for them when they're already 15 up.
Yeah, completely, it had to be said, completely dominating this game, and so far the Eagles have come up with nothing to stop the Bristol flow. Referees having the conflab here. Obviously, it's trying to work out between themselves what's going on. But I mean,
well, it's unsportsmanlike. Surely it's Bristol's ball from the halfway line.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think obviously referee Chris Dodds has seen something he wanted to talk about. He's now going across to talk to Kapoulis. Andre Kapoulis. There's obviously something going on here. I think there's been a bit of chat. I think that's what he's saying. There's been a bit of chat about for 1 or 2 of the players there, and they just try to calm the situation down. Obviously, the Eagles probably very frustrated, and perhaps reacting a little bit to what's going on. Or is it that they're thinking that the foul was outside, that being intentional, they should get 3 free throws? I don't. It's a very. It certainly that seems to be the.
Absolutely no way was that an attempt on a 3-point shot. If that's what the discussion's about.
So what's?
I don't know.
Certainly, whatever's happening is Andre Kapoulis is not happy at all.
Is he looking at the clock? Is he looking at the score? Does he feel something's wrong? Well,
the only thing I can think of, and I don't know if this is right or not, I'm sure somebody will correct us if wrong, is that the possession hadn't passed from Bristol to Newcastle, or from Newcastle to Bristol. So what they're saying, it was a foul, an intentional foul, but the possession was actually held by Newcastle at the time. And that, I don't think that is a rule, but that looked to me is what the explanation was, which is why Bristol weren't given the ball back after the 2 free throws. Here's Gunhina for 3 at the other end. He's missed that. Saw Nimley, I was going to say, got away with a push in the back there on Adam Weary, but he didn't actually get away with a push in the back because it was well spotted by referee Chris Dodds. Adam Weary will go to the shot line for 2 shots. I'm going to say
that'll be classed as a defensive foul, won't it? Well, I'm puzzled by that, Jeff, but...
Yeah, I
you,
mean,
you may be right, but I just thought unsportsmanlike was straightforward. It's 2 shots
and possession.
and possession.
I would agree with you, Dave, but it's just obviously they didn't get the possession, so there must have been a reason for that. And as I said, the only thing I can think of is that the class.
The clock's wrong.
Oh, they just changed the clock. It's down to 40. Yeah, changed the scoreboard. The scoreboard, the Flyers were up to 44. They've just knocked the one off on them. So there's obviously that could have been some of the confusion that's going on, but they've made a free throw.
That's what Kapoulis was doing, wasn't he? He was pointing aggressively at the clock, at the scoreboard. Sorry.
Yes, Page for 3 at the other end. Let's get back to the basketball, and Jason Page starting to come alive for the Eagles. Knocks that 3 down. Eagles back to within 12. He has Weary for 2 at the other end. He's missed that. Grunhina takes the rebound. Eagles off to the races. Nimley thought about the 3. Decided to give it to Page instead. Page knocks down back-to-back threes. And that'll be a straightforward timeout, because suddenly the Eagles are back within 9 points, and whatever's gone on has gone on, but certainly it's fired the Eagles up this time.
Well, I think what's gone on there, I saw Andreas Kapoulis' reaction when they went down the floor, 1 pass, 1 shot. Just having seen Page knock down a 3, and that's not, I'm sure, what he wanted in that phase of play. He wanted to make the Eagles play defense. He wanted to keep the ball movement going. He wanted to put real pressure on the Eagles, and that's happening quite a bit at the moment with that particular player. I think it was Adam Weary. I'm not 100% certain that it was him that took the corner, but he is tending to put the shot up at the moment he gets the ball.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right what you said, Dave, is that Bristol have gone away from what they were doing, which got them up by so many. But again, is part of that because Leslee Smith had to sit down, and he was a big part of that.
Yeah, could be.
But I mean, you suddenly look at Jason Page, who we were talking about struggling, certainly in that first quarter, and now back-to-back threes has seen him up to 12 points, and the Eagles back within 9, 1:31 to go, and Eagles certainly will feel a lot better about things at the moment, and it'll be a Bristol ball, and Bristol will be really looking to run a good offense here and try and get that double-figure score back up.
Well, because that happened so quickly with that very long ball down to the corner for the shot, the Eagles were still in their own half, so it was dead easy to get that ball to Page for an easy shot, because half the Bristol's defence was still in the other half.
Yes, Mayan Dombey, he tries to find Vigo inside. Vigo does find, he finds Daniel Adozi cutting to the basket, and that's a superb dunk.
Yeah, and not only that, it's exactly what we expected after that timeout. Yeah,
good
great coaching.
Yeah, good controlled offense, finding the free man. Eagles back on offense. Jukic back on. He tries to go to the basket. His 2-point shot is short. Goodwin did initially take the rebound, but he stepped out of bounds as he did so, and that'll be an Eagles end line ball. Eagles perhaps a little bit fortunate to get that end line ball for Jukic's shot. Page is going inbounded. 53 seconds left in the half. 11-point gap. Eagles with a chance to cut into single figures again. Nimley, he fights Fenoy inside. Fenoy turnaround jump shot is off. Goodwin takes the rebound. And this is more like it. Bristol team a little bit more controlled again. Goodwin to Weary, but Weary's lost that ball out of his hands. He is perhaps at the moment is the weak link for Bristol. Nimley turns round and Mayan Dombey all over him, but can't stop him. And he goes inside, tries to find Jukic. Ball's bounced free. So Nimley actually picks it up himself. Tries to go for the layup and is fouled. A little bit untidy, but Saw Nimley certainly stayed with the player there. And he will go up the line to shoot 2. All his points haven't come from the free throw line at the moment. Adam Weary comes off. Jordan Davis goes on.
I think that's a good substitution, because I think they need that extra little bit of control that Davis gives them.
The thing as well is if obviously if Nimley was to knock these 2 down, Bristol would have 18 seconds left to run a controlled offense to get that last shot. Nimley knocks the first one down. Now 4 of 5 from the line. Got me 10 points. Ready to shoot the second. rolls around all around. Did everything but go in. A 10-point lead, and Bristol with a chance to make it 12 or even 13 and run the last play of the half. Davis very much in charge running this last play. He finds Goodwin outside. Goodwin thought about a three just for a minute. Now decides to put the three up, and he knocks it down. And Eagles have got no time at all to get any shot off. Although Sean Ripley did get a shot off from his own half, and it hit the rim, didn't go down. So at the end of a very eventful half, which ended somewhat controversially, something was going on there. It still remains that Bristol Flyers are well in control of this game, having scored 49 points in the half to the Eagles 36.
Well, the dynamic of this game has shifted so much in the last 2 minutes. At one point, I'm thinking, you know, I was thinking the Eagles are not going to stop Bristol scoring. How are they going to get more points? Then suddenly Bristol's offense dries up because they start putting early shots up. J. Sean Page catches fire, and then Bristol called a timeout and put things back right again. And then it looked as though the Eagles were going to go in with a single-digit deficit, and suddenly they come up with an almighty three. And really, the Eagles in this dressing room, it's so important that they find the correct way to start this second half.
We'll be back with that second half shortly, but at the moment it's Bristol leading all the way at 49 to 36.
Right now we are into our grand final in the 2018 Kings Head for Health Tournament. Following the action from full side during the half-time break, once again I hand you over to Alex.
Okay, welcome back to Sports Central for the second half of tonight's BBL clash, which is a surprising scoreline at half-time. Sees Bristol leading by 49 points to 36. Remember, Bristol in 15 previous attempts to beat the Eagles have not managed to do so, but they're certainly well placed here with 20 minutes to go. I'll give you a couple of little stats before Dave comes in with the better analysis, or the longer analysis. Eagles starting five has only scored 9 points of that 36, and the Eagles top scorers are all from the bench, which is Jason Page with 12, Zarko Djukic with 6, and Fab Flanoy with 5. For Bristol, Leslee Smith, who had that fantastic first quarter, he's on 18, Rondell Goodwin's on 11, and Mike Vigo's on 8. We'll wait to see whether that third foul for Leslee Smith makes any difference, but certainly at the moment it's Bristol very much in the ascendancy, Dave.
Well, this certainly started, didn't look like a team that had lost 15 straight to the Eagles. They were full of confidence, very well organised, and 15 is a significant number because that's, you know, what the Eagles often trail by in that half. I mean, at the moment it's only 13, which is way better than the 18 they were behind at one stage. But you know, when they pulled it back a little bit and got to single digits, the Eagles looked like they were a team that could score in a hurry. And you know, at that point in time, the Flyers were 8 minutes without Leslee Smith, who shot an incredible 87%, 7 for 8. But the stats that will really worry the coaching staff of the Eagles is 32 rebounds to 21 in favour of the Flyers, of 11 of which are offensive. Points in the paint, a massive 28 for Bristol against 18. And shooting-wise, Bristol Flyers shooting 45% to the Eagles 34. The Eagles only connecting on 25% of the shots. You mentioned Leslee Smith. Could that be key? He has sat down for 8 minutes. Is he got cold, and is he prone to picking up an early fourth foul?
Yeah, it's a good point, as one will see. But just to give you the rundown of the scores from elsewhere in the BBL at the moment, one very big surprise there was, which is pretty much the surprise here. Bristol went to London on Tuesday and lost by nearly 30, and they're up by 13 against the Eagles. London, who won that game by 30, are actually down 42-26 at home against Glasgow. So, you know, it seems as if both teams have reacted totally different to that game on Tuesday. An absolute thriller going on there at Cheshire, with Cheshire leading Worcester at half-time by 48 points to 47. Surrey, not unexpectedly, 48 to 29 up against Leeds. And one of the battles down there at the bottom is a nice, close, high-scoring game at Plymouth, which sees Plymouth on 50 and Manchester on 44. But that Cheshire-Worcester game looks a real one. And the other one, I think, to look at is Rock, because Rocks have been going really, really well. Even having lost Coach Garbaletto, it doesn't seem to have made a lot of difference to the way they're playing. Although obviously when the Commonwealth Games come around, there's an awful lot of Glasgow Rocks going to be going there. But I think they've only got 2 games in the period during the Commonwealth Games, so that'll be a very interesting period, I think, all round for everybody in the league, sort of thing. And you know, we mentioned it before that Darius Defoe being injured, he was on the plane, you know, for the Commonwealth Games, but obviously his injuries forced him off, and Robert Gilchrist is coming to take his place, and perhaps that might benefit the Eagles if they can get Defoe fit for a couple of weeks' time, where they've got 3 very hard road games, you know, inside the week, sort of thing. So we'll wait and see about that one. But for the moment, back to this game, which is just about to restart. And Bristol, I think you made the point there, Dave, about Eagles coming back and looking as if they could pull it back and score points quickly. But one thing we do know about Coach Andreas Kapoulis is he knows his stuff, and I think he called a very smart timeout during that run as well.
Yeah, well, the thing was, his team were taking quick shots, which they hadn't been doing. They'd been working the ball well. And the Eagles were able to take advantage of that because they moved the ball very quickly down the floor. And Jason Page, who hadn't really connected with anything, suddenly hits 2 big threes in a row. That 6 points was massive for what it did, reduce the deficit to single digits at that point in time. But, you know, I'm fascinated by when you're mentioning Cheshire there. I look at the league table, and Bristol are 7th, and Cheshire at the moment are outside the playoffs. And there we're talking about a team that's won the cup, and the first piece of silverware to be won this year. Obviously Leicester then won the trophy, but also they've been to Sports Central twice and gone away with the win each time. So it really is fascinating what's going on in the league at the minute. Glasgow are having highs and lows. But that's a really good road performance from them by them at the moment.
So we've got 20 minutes for the Eagles to turn this around and get the fans behind them. And you made a good point, I think, as well in the first half, is that the Eagles crowd has often been classed as a sixth man for them. In the last few weeks, perhaps the standard of opposition has been one of the reasons the Eagles have won easily. The noise hasn't been great. I think the Eagles would love to see their fans getting on their feet and trying to get behind them, but of course for that to happen they've got to find a spot themselves to get the fans off the seats.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much, that's an interesting point you made there, and it reminds me of what I was listening to on the news the other night when Arsene Wenger, who felt his crowd weren't getting behind his team, pointed out, well, we've got to earn that. We've got to play it and give them the performance that they want. And these Eagles fans are not used to losing 3 home games in a row. They're not fooled by the fact that then there was 2 big performances, but that were against teams who are not playing well, both down there at the bottom of the league in Plymouth and Leeds. This is a sterner task, and there's much harder tasks to come when you go on the road and you start talking about those 3 games they have inside of 1 week.
It's Bristol who got us underway in the second half with Davis finding Goodwin. Vigo, he finds tries to find Smith inside, but this time Jamal Williams is awake to that high-low play and he knocks the ball away down the end line. Just another little point to make, Dave. Brandon Boggs, the man who leads Bristol in scoring, hasn't scored a single point yet, and yet they're still 13 points in front.
Yeah.
He has Goodwin going up against Lasker, gets past Lasker, but Lasker fouls him in the act of shooting. Yeah. He'll go to the line to shoot too.
Well, from Bristol's point of view, obviously that's Andreas has got faith in him that he thinks either his shooting will come good or he's doing a terrific job defensively or whatever. But the way this guy's going past defenders would worry me if I was in the Eagles camp.
Goodwin misses the first. Interesting, the Eagles didn't come up with the same starting 5 that this time Page was in the starting 5 for the second half, and Kai Williams, who probably had a very poor first half by his standards, he was down. In fact, the Williams brothers between them had played 17 minutes at the half and hadn't come up with a single point. Goodwin knocks one down, just pushes that lead up to 14, and there's Saw Nimley for 3. That's the first 3-point shot he's actually attempted in the game, and it's the first one that's gone in, and it's also his first field goal.
It's amazing, isn't it, how he gets these shots off against taller players. Really cool execution of that shot.
Goodwin turns, finds Smith. Smith on trying to barge his way inside. He's met there by Jamal Williams, and that'll be a foul on halfway by Brandon Boggs on Jay-Sean Page. Eagles asking for an unsportsmanlike foul, saying it's exactly the same as what happened. I don't think it was personally the same thing that happened.
Well, Jay-Sean Page was very smart. He just walked away from it. He didn't want to get involved at all. Smart play, Jay-Sean.
It was definitely a foul, there's no doubt about that, but I don't think you could have called that an unsportsmanlike foul.
Well, I think you know my view on that. I didn't think Jay-Sean Page's was either.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, Eagles now with the ball. They have cut the gap to 11 with Saw Nimley's 3-pointer. Actually, my mistake there. I actually thought Saw hadn't scored. Sorry, taken a 3-point shot, but he had taken 2. He's actually 0 from 6 before he made that 3-point shot. But he's now directing the offense. He finds Page. He gives it to Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams holds on. Decides to take a 3-point shot himself. That comes off. Leslee Smith up there. Big gets a rebound. He finds Jordan Davis. Davis goes deep. Comes back out to Smith. Smith for 3. He's missed that first 3. That's the first 3 he's missed. He has Brandon Boggs, who's come up with a long rebound, but he still can't get his first points of the night.
He just can't connect tonight, and you know, we're wondering whether Smith had cooled off a little bit. Oh, I certainly hadn't with that play. Yeah. What a terrific block.
The block was on Nimley, who drove to the basket. He has Goodwin.
Great defense by Lasker, because it was starting to bother me the way
Godina trying to keep Vigo in front of him here. Vigo turns, there's the hook shot. Nice play by Mike Vigo, tough inside. Yeah. He's up to double figures on 10 points.
I'll just revisit that because I think that was great play by Drew Lasker, because Goodwin was getting past players too easy for my liking.
Leslee Smith takes the rebound from Jay-Sean Page, has missed 3. Vigo pushes it to Davis. Davis skipped past the other side to Goodwin, who probably could have shot the 3, but decided to come inside instead. Beats Jamal Williams to the basket and lays it in. Fab for now calling horns from the sideline. I could even hear him from up here. Williams and Gunina the horns, and Nimley went the long way around to find Page, and then comes back to get the ball off Page, shoots a 2-point shot, misses it. Page contests with Boggs and then jogs back rather than runs back. I don't think Flanoy will be too impressed with that. And there's another one, Dave, for you to put in your record books. Another one steps out of bounds in the corner.
It happens so many times, and it's not just this court. I mean, this court is regulation. All the courts in the BBL are regulation. I just don't know why it happens so much. But it's one of the most common calls there is in basketball anywhere at the moment. It even happens in the Olympics.
Yuri Gunina and Jamal Williams come off. Kai Williams and Zarko Djukic come on. Gunina in particular didn't look very happy with that decision, or might just be not happy with the way he's played, and probably realises that he has Nimley for 3 again. That one hits the front of the rim. Kai Williams battling away there for the offensive rebound, gets the offensive rebound, and Mike Vigo pushes him aside. Typical Kai, they crashed into the young lad in the wheelchair, and he turned straight around and asked him if he was all right.
Yeah, Mike's had a difficult start to this half. He's had the out-of-bounds situation. He had a missed high-low pass earlier on.
There's Page driving to the basket. I think he was fouled as he was going there. Foul on the floor. There might be a foul on Brandon Boggs.
Well, I know they put the lead back up to 15 after that early three from Saar, but they don't look in the rhythm they were in the first half.
Brandon Boggs 2 fouls and no points, and there's Page driving it again. This time tries the left-handed layup, misses it, but he's fouled in the act of shooting, and that's a 3rd foul on Brandon Boggs.
And more importantly, after only 3 minutes of play, if I'm reading that scoreboard correctly, it's the 4th team foul.
Yep.
So they've put themselves under a little bit of pressure. They've lost the rhythm. Smith's cooled off. I'm sure he'll probably be able to find a way to get going again, but he's cooled off altogether in the way he's playing, and they're struggling to control the Eagles' offense, and they're getting themselves in foul trouble.
Page makes the first. We've got to play 7 minutes in the 3rd quarter in the penalty. Long time to play in the penalty. Jason Page knocks the first one down. He's up to 13. Only Eagles player at the moment in double figures. Makes a second as well, up to 14.
Well, sometimes you're looking for what can be a game changer when a team struggled in the first half and will get back in the game. But actually, I think Bristol are helping Newcastle to do it.
Gap is still at 13 as Davis comes forward. Goodwin battling away there with Lasker. Lasker thought he'd got that ball, just knocked it out, came off his own leg and went out to play. But Eagles, I think you're right, Eagles looking the hustle looks a little bit better. But having said that, they still haven't cut the gap at the moment. Brandon Boggs taking a seat, not surprisingly. Not had the best of weeks, no points tonight. He only had 2 or 3 on Tuesday for a man who normally knocks 15 points a game down. He's been replaced by Adam Weary. Mike Vigo trying to drive to the basket. Great hands by Zarko Djukic to knock that away. Page is going to go all the way to the basket, and he makes that 2-point shot.
Yeah. Not for me wanting to be called substitutions for Bristol, but right now I think they should be looking at giving a Dorsey a spot on the floor, because Vega is just not doing it.
There's Davis. He finds Smith inside. Smith picked up by Kai Williams. Kai Williams trying to take over a good position, but Smith turns round. Djukic got up to block it, but that was quite clearly goaltending. Nobody in the house at all is even the Eagles fans haven't disputed that call.
Yeah, and we are in a great position, aren't we, to see that? Absolutely right.
Yeah, great call.
Clear goaltend.
Smith with that shot up to 20 points. Jason Page lets a 3-point go.
Unfortunate that, because Kai Williams is obviously looking to way to get in, and he worked really, really hard to take that offensive rebound. He was just unlucky that his foot on the line when he got to hold of the ball.
So Bristol up by 13. We've played 4 minutes, and the Eagles haven't so far been able to get back into it. And that man Leslee Smith has found his way, made his last 2 shots. He's up to 22 points. Page finds Djukic, who drives at the basket. Can't make the layup, but he gets his own offensive rebound, puts it back.
He made his own look there.
He goes into double figures.
And a terrific drive by him, really quick first step, made his own look.
Yes, Leslee Smith again, he finds Weary. Weary thinks about giving it to Goodwin, doesn't. Leslee Smith faced by Kai Williams, shoots the three, that one comes off. Long rebound for Kai Williams, who did well to defend Leslie Smith. He has Jukic, he found lovely pass to Page. Page reverse layup. And I think here will come Edozie, Boggs and Mayan Dumby all coming together now for Bristol.
Well, you know, all the good things Bristol did in the first half, a lot of them are not happening now. But talking about good things, what a fantastic pass, but an even better cut from J. Sean Page.
Vigo going up, which will not be a surprise. Smith pops is a little bit of a surprise, but he is on 3 fouls, and Jordan Davis coming out as well. So that's Brandon Boggs back in, Daniel Edozie in, and Panos Mayan Dumby in. He has Weary outside to Mayan Dumby for 3. He misses that 3. Jukic is alive to the loose ball, picks it up quickly. Nice pass to Kai Williams. Kai Williams is going to shoot the 3. That's in and out. Drew Lasker gets a nice hand to it. Page back out to Nimley. Nimley fakes, shoots the 3, knocks the 3 down.
Yeah.
And suddenly the Eagles are within 8 points now. And Coach Kapoulis recognises that and calls a timeout immediately. Eagles back within 8 points. Saw Nimley up to 10 points, but interestingly enough, Jukic and Page on 10 and 18, and again from the bench.
Andres was already saying to his players what he wanted to say to them. He was saying, guys, we're not playing smart anymore. It was as simple as that. He's called his timeout. They're not playing smart. They're not playing with the rhythm they had in the first half. And obviously the Eagles are taking advantage of that. And Nimley to me is having a good game right now. And that was a fantastic move between Zarko and J. Sean Page. It was a great pass, but it was an equally good back cut to the basket by J. Sean Page.
Page looking to lead the Eagles back here, and he's certainly doing that part of that job very, very well indeed. Leslee Smith, meanwhile, 22 points and 7 rebounds, leading both categories there for Bristol. And Rondell Goodwood having a decent game as well on 14 points. Saw Nimley up to 10 points with that second 3 of the game. Eagles on 50, Bristol on 58, and this will be the time where Bristol have really got to dig deep and get back to what they were doing. I hope you're not choking there down on your pizza duo ballers as the Eagles start to make their run back, and you're still enjoying the Bristol performance at the moment. Adam Weary moves across to the point guard position.
It's not going to be easy for them right now because the Eagles have got a bit of momentum going, and Bristol are having to defend them on 14 fouls. But the Eagles have only picked up 1 foul in the whole of this quarter.
There's the second. Kai Williams on the floor as Mayan Dumby tries to go past him.
I feel as though I should really know Panos' game. I watched him for a whole season. In the season he played for Durham, this guy, he plays with a lot of energy. He's got a decent 3-point shot, and he's a really hard worker.
There's Weary now for Bristol, faced by Page. Tries to go past Page. Page stays with him. Floats a one up, doesn't make it. That man Lasker rising above everybody, takes his 6th rebound of the game. Jukic comes inside. I think he was looking to possibly go and slam that one home, but Edozie met him well at the basket, but unfortunately didn't get the ball, got the arm instead, and Zarko Jukic will go at the line to shoot 2.
That was a really smart move because he looked at who was blocking the way at the basket, and he knew he had the foot speed on him, and he certainly took advantage of that.
Brandon Boggs, meanwhile, makes his way to the bench. Is replaced by Mike Vigo. Zarko Jukic goes to the line. Misses the first one.
And I don't think you said a word.
I'm not going to say anything about Zarko's free throw shooting now. I think his stats tell it all. Not often you find a player whose shooting percentage outside of the free throw line is better than it is on the free throw line. And just to emphasise that point, he missed the second one as well. But it was another foul pulled, if nothing else. Eagles now on defence, looking to hold, make another stop. Goodwin, nice play, didn't make the shot though. Kai Williams getting really involved there. Saw Nimley comes away smartly with the ball, gives it to Jukic, didn't quite take it in his stride well enough. Give it back to Lasker, and Lasker's giving it away. He has Weary coming in. I think Kai Williams took a really good position there and thought maybe he was going to get a charging foul call against Bristol, but it didn't happen. And the rebound was picked up, I think, by Rondell Goodwin, and he went up hard, and Drew Lasker picked up the foul.
Bristol aptly named, because that was an absolutely flying fast break. I think the whole team there outran the Eagles down the floor in that fast break situation.
Drew Lasker picking that one up. I think that was his third foul, so he goes to the bench. He's replaced by Fab Fenoy as Rondell Goodwin goes to the line. Certainly free throw haters tonight from both teams at the moment. Eagles shooting their free throws tonight at 60%. Bristol exactly the same, 60%. Rondell Goodwin did make the second one to take the lead back up to 9 points, 59-50. He has Nimley trying to find a way through. Can't find a gap to shoot it, can't find a player. Gives it to Kai Williams. Jason Page is going to drive all the way to the basket. That's more like the Jason Page. We know driving left, using his left hand. Lays it in, cuts the gap to 7 points now.
It's certainly hard to stop, isn't he, when he switches onto his left hand on his drive.
Bristol called.
Oh, well, that's a great shot for the Eagles.
Yeah, I think Bristol called the horns play, and it led to a long three-point shot from Mike Vigo, who's not a real three-point threat. And the Eagles, as you said, they'll be well pleased to see Mike Vigo shooting
much time off the clock.
And there's Page inside to Jukic, just too far away from the basket, so he decides to give it back to Saw Nimley. Saw Nimley knocks down the three, and suddenly the Eagles are back within 4. The crowds now is getting into this and getting behind the Eagles. It's suddenly a totally different game. Bristol need a score on this offense. Just to put that, again, it's great work from Zarko Jukic. Up and in. Oh, he didn't quite make it, but he was fouled. When Page and Jukic went for that alley-oop pass and Jukic slammed, Jukic didn't make it, but Edozie fouled him in the act of shooting. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. And Leslee Smith comes back into the game for Edozie. If Jukic can find some form from the free throw line, he could get the Eagles back to within 1 shot.
Well, I don't know why this is happening, but both Goodwin and Weary are having problems staying on their feet. I don't know why it is, but that's probably the 5th or 6th time either one of those two players has simply gone down on a slip with the ball and allowed the Eagles to swarm all over them, particularly for them to release it.
So Jukic fails to make the first. Makes a second, so that's one from 5, I think he is now. But what he has done is he's got the Eagles back to within 1 shot of Bristol at 59-56 to Bristol. That's a nice skip past Davis, comes inside well. But another great hands once again from Zarko Jukic, who really is responding well and coming up with these deflections and steals.
I think you're wrong, Mr. Guard. I think you're wrong, Mr. Davies. That was an unforced error.
Saw Nimley all the way to the basket and in with the layup, and the Eagles are back within 1, and we still have 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes to play in this quarter. And Bristol having to throw the ball long. You've got to give the Eagles some credit here for the defense. Ryan Dombey tries to barrel his way through. Vigo once again was left free. What a great job there Jason Page did in getting the ball back from a hard pass, and his backcourt partner Saw Nimley was able to make the layup, and the Eagles are in front 60-59. And if you think I'm shouting, I am, because the Eagles fans have really got behind that team now as they go in front. Here's Leslee Smith, thought about the 3 but came inside on Kai Williams, doesn't make the 2. Ryan Dombey battling away, gets the rebound but can't make the layup. Eagles come away with it again. Nimley to Kai Williams for 3. Kai Williams knocks down that 3, and the Eagles lead by 4, 63-59, and they've turned a 13-point deficit down from the half. There's Weary though, does just quieten the Eagles crowd down a little bit and enables me to stop shouting for a couple of minutes. 63-61, Eagles back on offense inside the last minute of the quarter. Fantastic response from the Eagles. Here's Nimley from way downtown, misses that one. Kai Williams isn't able to make the layup. Ryan Dombey from Davis's long pass back to Weary. Weary slows it down sensibly, looking to set something up. Gets a screen, so shoots the 3, doesn't make it. Rebound taken by 5'6" Saw Nimley, who will now run this ball forward for the Eagles. Thinks about going for a three. Little head fake inside, and he's fouled on the floor. I think it's by Mike Vigor again. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
Well, I think the 27 seconds to go, Jeff, it's almost like we can take a bit of a rest here, because what's happening out there is blindingly obvious. Is the Eagles are getting some momentum, they're finding a rhythm, and a lot of it has come from the way that the Bristol have gone away from all the things they do well. Particularly, I mean, Vigor's in and out of the game, and that's not a surprise at all, because he has really, really struggled in this quarter to find make anything like good decisions.
So Dozy's back on, he's on 3 fouls, and Rondell Goodwin's also come into the game. Saw him to shoot 2. The extra first, 64-61. The extra second. Eagles lead by 4, 65-61. They've had a huge quarter here. Leading the quarter at the moment, 27 points to 12. Adam Weary turns the corner, goes all on his own, doesn't make the shot. Kai Williams pulls it down the rebound. Jason Page thought about the 3, gives it to Nimley. He doesn't have to think about the 3. He pulls the trigger, and the Eagles suddenly lead by 68 points to 61, and it's a 7-point lead and a 20-point swing in the quarter as Dozy tries to get a 3-point shot off on the buzzer, doesn't get it off. Fab Frenoy, though, looks as if he's picked up an injury there in trying to defend the 3-point shot. Worrying moments there for the Eagles, but let's go back to the end of the quarter, and the quarter has been a 31-point-to-12 quarter in favour of the Eagles, and they lead 68-61.
Well, firstly, 2 things. One is, let's talk about the positives from the Eagles. Saar Nimley has had probably the best quarter he's had since he arrived here at Sports Central. He's had an absolutely brilliant quarter. He's been shooting well, he's been controlling, he's been running. He's just had a really great quarter. His impact in the game has been enormous in that quarter, and his teammates, he's taken them along with him. The confidence has grown, the rhythm has grown, everything has happened for good things for the Eagles. At the other end, Bristol started with making mistakes, unforced errors, and they just kept making them, and they found it very, very difficult to find any sort of rhythm and do the things and stick to the things that they're good at in that quarter.
So as we say there, 32-12, 32 points poured in by the Eagles, which is way, way above anything they'd achieved before that tonight, but also defensively restricting Bristol to 12 points. And the game has really swung right round, and it'll be interesting to see if Bristol can respond in the way the Eagles responded.
Well, Bristol, didn't they, in that first half, did all of the things that we know them to be able to do: organised, controlled, run things, work for the basket, try to make everything look easy and take advantage of mistakes made by any defence. That was not the Bristol Flyers in that quarter, and Andre has told me before the game they've simply just not played well at all against London, and they simply did not play well at all in that quarter.
Very, very, very interesting quarter. Been a very big quarter, obviously, for the Eagles, and we'll see what happens when we come out. Just a little brief look down at the other games. 5 minutes to go down there in London, and that game looks almost all over as well, as Rocks lead 86-69 down in London. The Worcester-Cheshire game, Cheshire have just moved a little bit further in front. They lead 80 points to 72 with 4 minutes to go there. Leeds against Surrey is, wow. With 1:40 to go in that game, it's 107-51 to Surrey against Leeds. And the final one, which is the Plymouth-Manchester game, looks as if Plymouth are going to pick up another home win there. They're 12-point lead as they enter the fourth quarter. But back to Sports Central, and for anybody who's watching this game, stayed with this game, they've seen it completely swing around. And Fab Frenoy, who absolutely limped away there from his injury when he tried to block the 3-point shot, is now back out on court and moving quite freely.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it, that he feels he needs to be leading from the floor. But this is the man who I think has been mainly responsible for the Eagles' revival in that third period.
Well, he knocked down 4 3-pointers in there in that quarter, but there's a 2-point shot that he's taken that was blocked, and Bristol get the first chance to cut the gap after a good defensive stop. Edozie, he finds Goodwin driving inside, and he's made the 2-point shot, and I think the foul is it going to be called offensive foul? Yep, offensive foul. Did the basket count? Nope, it didn't.
It can't, can it? No.
The foul was in the act of shooting, therefore it can't count. Sometimes on an offensive foul, if the ball's gone and they can't count the basket, but definitely that time. And Goodwin obviously didn't agree with the decision, and has just been one any more back chat like that, and you'll be getting a technical foul. Meanwhile, it's Sean Emily bringing the ball over the halfway line for the Eagles. He's faced by Leslee Smith and Adumbi, and managed to get a turnover there, but unfortunately Adam Weary couldn't pick the ball up before it hit his feet, and that ball will go back to the Eagles for the foot infraction. Fab for now, still limping a little bit. Calls triangle for the Eagles. Slaps the ball in his hand, that indicates the player's off and running, and it's to Jason Page. He thought about the 3, but drives really well in against. Missed his 2-point shot, but Yuri Gunhina was able to take the ball, and there's Sean Nimley. Absolutely, he's hit an absolute brick wall in Daniel Edozie there, but Daniel Edozie did move across to make that play slightly, and Sean Nimley is fouled and will go to the line to shoot 2.
I'm going to opt out here because I didn't have a very, very good clear vision from our angle here, but I'm not sure Edozie did that much wrong.
Yeah, I think it's just referee indicated that he just moved his feet slightly, and that was enough to call it a block rather than a charge. Nimley at the line knocks down the first. And
this gives Andre Kapoulis a real problem now, because he's got 2 players on 4 fouls, and it looks as though he's going to switch Edozie for Bloggs, who's also got 4 fouls, and bring Viger back in as well.
So Nimley perfect from the line there. He's gone the line 10 times and he's made 8 of them, so that's 8 of 10 he is. Eagles lead by 9, and as you said, Brandon Boggs has come on for Daniel Edozie, and also Mike Vigo has come back on to replace Rondell Goodwin. Eagles come up with another steal, and it's Nimley that's away, but Leslee Smith got back superbly to block the shot, although I think perhaps Nimley took a little bit off the Jets there and trying to make a 2-point shot. Fab for now getting a really good applause from the Eagles fans. He's led the defensive effort in that third quarter. He has a sit, sends on Drew Lasker, who's just as much an energy bunny as Fab can be himself on defence. He has Weary for Bristol, trying to reply and trying to turn this back around the other way. Leslie Smith thought about the 3, decides to drive inside instead. Ball bouncing around, and a couple of offensive rebounds, and finally Smith gets it back and lays it in.
Leslie Smith needed that, because I know you said good steal from the Eagles, but it actually was a very, very careless pass in that last offense from Leslie Smith that enabled the Eagles to break quickly on them.
It's Kai Williams to Page. Page puts up the 3. Page knocks down the 3.
But I'll tell you right now, Bristol have a huge problem, because both Page and Nimley are hitting 3s for fun.
Leads up to 10 now. Here's Adam Weary going inside. He's done it a few times where he seems to take it on the board, whereas when Davis is in the game, he's pass first. Weary's definitely looking to create a shot every time. Was fouled that time in the act of shooting, I think, by Sean Emily, so he will go to the line to shoot 2 and cut that gap down to single figures. Meanwhile, Yuri Gunhina comes out for Eagles, and Zarko Djukic is back in. Adam Weary going to the line to shoot 2.
How many minutes has Davis had tonight?
Jordan Davis has played 16 minutes, hasn't scored a point. Only has the 2 assists.
And obviously that's been a factor in terms of allocation of his court time. He clearly favours that Weary and Goodwin should be the 2 who are out there at the moment on the floor.
where he played 24 minutes and he did knock down both the free throws to cut the gap to 8 points. And there's Lasker's pass inside is intercepted by Smith again. He knocked the ball out of Jason Page's hands and the ball goes dead. It's the Eagles' M9 ball. Leslee Smith 1 rebound away from a double-double. Saw Nimley takes up the reins for the Eagles. He gives it to Page, who just slightly just bobbled it, but shoots a 3 from way out and over the top of Brandon Boggs. That's a quality shot, that one, and he takes the Eagles into an 11-point lead. At the other end, he's come up with a defensive stop on Boggs as well. Boggs really has to be said having an absolute nightmare of the game. There's Page again, he's going to put the 3-point up again. This one misses, but Zarko Jukic anticipated the miss and was there to get the rebound. Gives it to Kai Williams. Kai Williams gives it back to Jason Page. This time he drives at the basket. Lasker to Nimley, back to Lasker. Lasker knocks down the 3. That's really good team basketball for the Eagles, who really have clicked into gear, and they've got the crowd at Sports Centre on their feet because of the way they're playing now, and they've got their coach Fab Fenoy off the bench, Linton, but still giving the high fives as they go back. That's a fantastic period of play for the Eagles there, Dave.
That was fantastic ball movement, wasn't it? You know, you watch that and you love the way they shared the ball there, and what a great shot to finish it off, to knock it down. But suddenly, you know, we were talking about the deficit the Eagles facing it. Plymouth are facing this deficit right now, and I just don't see any way at all at the moment that they're going to find a way to get back in, because Brandon Boggs is not playing very well, Mike Vigo's not playing very well. It's just a really tough night for them.
Yeah, and it didn't look that way at the half, but it's been a 13 points up at the half and now 14 points down. That's a 27-point turnaround in only 13 minutes.
Well, we've seen two sides to the Eagles, haven't we? And we've seen two sides to Bristol Flyers, the way we know they can play, the teamwork and everything else. And obviously, right now, they're lapsing into the way they played against London. But, you know, just what a fantastic season with the BBL. We've nobody able to predict how things are going. London murdered Bristol the other night, and now they're really struggling against Glasgow. Great for the neutrals, great for the audience watching the games.
And I think I'm going to take it one step. It also seems to be pretty good for Leicester Riders, because everybody else is beating everybody else.
That's right.
And Leicester just seem to keep winning. So it's almost a bit like the Premiership, with Manchester City running away with the Premiership and everybody else playing for the runners-up spots and the playoff spots, or in case of the Premiership, the Champions League spots. There's Vigo back on court. He finds Boggs. Will Boggs take a shot? Nope. Inside to Leslee Smith, who's faced by Kai Williams. Kai Williams doing the best. And there's a slip on the floor there, but Jason Page has given it a hand check. I don't think he had a lot of choice to do the hand check there, because Smith looked as if he was going to slip, and I think Jason probably put a hand out as much to protect himself as actually to foul him.
I mean, it's all, you know, it's fine we're talking about Nimley and Page, but they are shooting really well in this phase. But also the Eagles are absolutely stepped up a notch on the defence.
There, in 6:53 to go in the game, is Brandon Boggs' first field goal and first points of the game, as he enables his side to cut the gap to 12 points. But it's the Eagles back on offense with Saw Nimley. Thinks about giving the alley-oop to Jukic. Jukic in the corner, finds Kai Williams in the corner. Kai Williams can't make the point, but there's Kangadrew Lasker up, bouncing up again, taking another offensive rebound. Ball back to Jason Page. Fans remind him how much is left on the shot clock. He finds Kai Williams open. Kai Williams can't hit the rim with that shot, and that's a 24-second violation.
Drew Lasker's amazing, isn't he? He works so hard without the ball. He pops up everywhere. He was not only took that rebound, he made the pass out. Then he's on the end of the missed shot. He plays with great energy, great advert for everybody, and you know, in his veteran stages now, but his work rate's phenomenal.
It's for Knife, goes to the floor. There's Jukic up. He thinks he got a clean block on that, but I think the foul was correctly called.
Yeah, I think that was more of a frustration than a signal that I actually got it. I think he knew he'd made really contact on the player.
Just
the thing is, though, he did challenge him. You know, the Eagles now defence is really, really challenging the Bristol Flyers, and at the moment they don't have the answers that have been to the questions that have been asked of them.
Goodwin knocks down the first from the free throw line after the foul by Jukic. Makes them both. Second one wiped his feet, but the gap's down to 10. For now limping away, coming off. Jason Page coming back on. I think in one point there, Drew Lasker was possibly going to take a bench, but I think Kai Williams, I think, was initially going to be the one substituted out, but for now he's decided to take himself out. Did limp off a little bit.
Yeah, his mobility looks he's not moving easily at all, is it, at the moment, Fab?
Saw him dribbling inside and outside of the Bristol players and shooting the big three to take the Eagles up to 82-69.
What percentage is he shooting this half?
Well, I don't know what he's shooting this half, but it's certainly a lot better than it was in the first half, because he didn't make a shot in the first half. There's an intentional foul on. It has to be an unsportsmanlike, because he was the last man there, and he definitely put his arm across to try and stop Jason Page from going any further. That was Leslee Smith, and I think that'll be Leslee Smith's fourth foul.
Yeah, it is.
And 5:39 to go. Bristol's all of a sudden look as if the wheels have completely come off their wagon. Or perhaps they're playing as soon as they're called the Flyers.
No, the moment Eagles get the ball, Jeff, they're putting Bristol defence under pressure. They really are running the floor well.
Page to the line, makes the first one. Well, Sarnimley's only 6 of 17, but all of those 6 have been made in the second half.
Yeah.
He didn't make a single shot in the first half. And he's actually, the way his shooting percentage is very impressive, because he's 5 from 9 from 3-point range, which is 55%. And they've all been pretty good shots as well. Page, meanwhile, knocks both down, and because it was an unsportsmanlike foul, Eagles have got the ball back. They lead by 15, Nimley with the ball in hand. Page all of a sudden at 28 points, Nimley on 27, 55 points between them. And there's Nimley up for another 3. This one's way off. But guess who's going to get that ball back? No, Drew Lasker. I don't think it touched anything. I was thinking that'll have to be.
So they're going to talk to each other, because if that didn't hit the player, presumably that's a half-court violation, is it? Or does the shot cancel it out? Jeff, we really must improve our knowledge of the game.
Nope, 24-second call, Dave, you're right.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. Just waiting for the signal from the referee. But yeah, I think the shot didn't hit the rim, and when it came off, the clock did expire. So that makes it 5 of 10 now from Sarnimley, so he's only at 50%. But you take 50% from your 3-point shooter every single time. Here's Goodwin now, hassled by Drew Lasker, and it's Drew Lasker called for the foul. That might be Drew Lasker's, that could be his 4th foul. Just acknowledges it to his teammates. He knows he's on 4 fouls, but he's only got 5 minutes left to play. It's Mike Vigo. He gives it to Leslee Smith. Leslee Smith hassled by Kai Williams, but Leslee Smith comes in on the basket. Jason Page takes the rebound and spins round very, very quickly. Finds Lasker outside. He gives it back to Page. Nimley was calling for it, but Page himself goes inside. Drops down another 2-point shot. Not exactly rushing back on defense, but he doesn't necessarily have to this time. Yeah, there's a foul by Zarko Jukic as Brandon Boggs tried to go to the basket. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Only Zarko's 2nd foul of the game. Eagles leading by 17 with 4:42 to go. You would be very tempted to say that this game was over, but you could have said that at halftime. It was over in Bristol's favour, so we'll not call it just yet. But it's a very healthy lead for the Eagles. Scored 50 points so far in this second half, but more impressively, they've held Bristol to 20.
Yeah, the defence has been amazing. What was it, 12 in the 3rd quarter? And only 8 so far in this quarter. Yeah. Just
looking at the scores, Jason Page up to 30 points now. Sarnimley 27, Zarko Jukic on 11. The Eagles 3 in double figures there. And looking at the Bristol, it's 24 points from Leslee Smith, 17 points from Rondell Goodwin, and 10 points each from Mike Vigo and Adam Weary.
Well, it's almost like a flashback, isn't it, to the start of the season. 57 points shared between Nimley and Page, but there is a difference. I think Nimley has played a much better all-round game. I think Page has done his shift on defence as well as sticking up with the points on offence. I think he's been quite under control, and they have given Plymouth all sorts of problems that they've just not been able to solve in this half. And you know, I'm disappointed for Andreas Kapoulas, and his team played so well in the first half, but really they never actually got going following that half-time break.
Just to emphasise Dave's point there about Page and Nimley. Nimley's got 6 assists and Page has got 5, so they are sharing the ball probably to each other, but it's still 6 and 5 is well ahead on the assists for Eagles, as Brandon Boggs misses his first free throw, and really Bristol can't afford to miss any chances at the moment. He's missed the second one. Mr. Lasker comes up with another rebound. That's 9 rebounds for Drew Lasker to go with 14 he had last week. Rebound king for Newcastle at the moment. Here's Page faced by Davis. Finds Jukic in the corner. Great first step from Jukic. Lovely pass back to Kai Williams. But Kai Williams can't buy a bucket tonight at all. Really struggling from that point of view. As Bristol come forward again, Boggs is going to go all the way. Reverse layup, misses it. Guess who'll come up with a rebound? Drew Lasker. Takes his 10th rebound of the game. Gives it to Nimley. Nimley gives it to Jukic. He's back. Nimley's thinking about a 3-point shot, but he gives it to Lasker in the corner. Lasker in the corner for 3. If anybody had any doubts about why Drew Lasker's been picked for the England squad, this game is dispelling all of those. He has Rondell Goodwin at the other end, faced up by Drew Lasker, and he misses the 3-point shot. Ball comes off a Bristol hand, and the Eagles get the ball back again. Eagles now leading by 20 with 3:46 to go. Bristol in reality now, the bench was really up and very animated in the first half. Very much down this half as Mike Vigo takes a seat and Panos Mayandombi comes back on. Interesting for Kai Williams, he just got the 3 points there, but he's still playing a lot of minutes, probably because he's doing pretty well on defence. Here's Lasker.
Well, the Eagles certainly have been very impressive defensively in this second half.
Nimley trying to find a gap, just find a gap. Drew Lasker cuts to the basket but can't make the layup. Rebound taken by Goodwin. He finds Davis. Davis is going to put the 3 up. Bounces short. So Nimley takes the rebound. He could have outletted that ball quick into Page, but the Eagles decided just to slow it down a little bit. Very sensible, I think, with 3:10 left on the clock. Leading by 20. Looking at this score, people might think, oh yeah, easy win for the Eagles if it turns out that way. Page's 3-point shot is off. Kai Williams contests the rebound, but he knocks it free. But that doesn't tell a story of a basketball game that swung one way first and has swung completely the other way in the second half.
Yeah, but your choice of words is absolutely right for the second half. It has been a very, very, very easy road for the Eagles in the second half. Bristol have just, unfortunately, for whatever reason, have just lost the way at both ends of the floor.
And there's a no-look pass from Jordan Davis. He probably should have looked because he threw it straight to Zarko Jukic. I mean, that'll be classed as a steal probably from Zarko Jukic, but I mean, easiest steal he'll ever get because the ball was thrown straight to him.
It's a turnover, absolutely turnover, no question.
Page, Nimley just takes his eye off the ball, but Anthony was able to go past by Ndombi. Finds Jukic inside. Jukic lays his up. Lovely assist from Nimley. Eagles up to 91 points. Bristol on 69. Oh, Page just missed the steal there. Davis back to Goodwin. Goodwin thought about the 3. Decides to come inside instead. And that ball's knocked free there. Drew Lasker getting a seat. The whole of Sports Central rise into Drew Lasker, and that includes everybody on the Eagles bench as well. Fantastic performance from Drew Lasker. 7 points, 10 rebounds from Drew Lasker, and as captain of the team, certainly leading the team from the front.
And an absolute ton of energy.
Yeah. Whatever he does off the court, bear in mind he has got his own fitness company, and very much that can be seen as to why he's got that fitness company. He's for his age, he's probably fitter than most men 10 years younger than him.
What you're suggesting is his own personal trainer?
He is, that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think we can say with a degree of certainty that this game is going to go to the Eagles. Absolutely incredible turnaround. They thoroughly deserved it. They put everything right in the second half that was going wrong in the first. Played with great energy. Defence was all over, and Bristol just unfortunately just could not find an answer. And when you look at the schedule, they've got the Leeds next week. You would think that's going to be another. Then they've got some toughish games coming up, but there's one thing for sure: the confidence is back in the Eagles' camp tonight.
Yeah, it took a while, but they have got it back there, and contrasting the two benches is quite remarkable, because the Eagles bench was very much down in the first half, and they're now up, and Bristol obviously looked a bit shell-shocked on their bench. AJ Bassey comes back on with 2:06 to go, the Eagles 91-69 in front. It's come on for Drew Lasker, who took that, went to the bench with that standing ovation from the fans. Page finds Bassey. Bassey thought about the three, but he's given it down low to Kai Williams, who's going to work against Bristol. Finds Jason Page cutting to the basket, and Jason Page up to 32 points now.
He's had his fair share of points, hasn't he, from movements off the ball, which is very pleasing.
No, Bristol just absolutely everything's gone wrong now for them. I mean, there's a really, Ryan Dumby was completely wide open, and the pass was such an easy pass to make, and it was just thrown straight out of bounds by Jordan Davis, who really has not shown anything like the ability he's got. Saw him now almost playing with Ryan Dumby. He's going to put this. Well, probably shouldn't play this too much. You get down to 3 points. Somebody's going to have to put this shot up. Won't get the shot off. No, doesn't get the shot off. Even though Jason Page made the drive to the basket, it was a 24-second violation. Son Emery takes the seat. He gets a fantastic reception from the Eagles fans as well, recognising, as Dave says, what a great effort he put in the second half.
Yeah, it was an MVP type performance from Sarr tonight.
There's Boggs, Ryan Dumby, Dozy trying to set a screen on Jukic. Goodwin coming in. Jukic has probably taken. It's unlucky really there, because Jukic has blocked the shot, but Kai Williams unfortunately has come up with a foul, and Kai Williams has 5 fouls. He is another one who gets a good reception. Not his best shooting night, but certainly worked hard, and was a big part of that Eagles defensive performance in the second half. Rondell Goodwin will go to the line for 2 shots. Chance to take his personal tally up to 19. Knocks the first one down. Cuts the gap to 23 points, and I really can't believe I'm saying that after the first half performance, but Eagles up there with 93, and Bristol on 70. Misses the second one. Yuri Godina has come on, and he took that rebound. He finds Page. Page flirting with the sideline, but turns the burners on to get the ball over halfway, but this time he's lost it, but Jamal Williams saves him. Inside the last 10 seconds of the shot clock, and Jason Page is thinking about the drive at the basket here, but he finds AJ Bassey, who puts up a 3, and that one just rims out. 35 seconds left. Bristol come up quickly. Jordan Davis takes a 3, which misses everything, and Brandon Boggs can't catch it. And 29 seconds left. Eagles fans, as is traditional in the last minute, on their feet to cheer their side home.
Well, they're, as well as the Eagles are obviously turning this whole game around on its head, the fans have certainly found their form as well tonight, haven't they? Because they were so disappointed with those 3 losses. They came along apprehensive, but it was wins against Plymouth and Leeds. But tonight has been an absolutely emphatic second half performance from the Eagles, and they are absolutely delighted and showing their appreciation for the way the Eagles players have played tonight.
The Eagles didn't even attempt a shot in the last 30 seconds. Page was quite happy to take the rebound. And that last shot doesn't count. So the Eagles have won this one by 93 points to 70, which possibly didn't look likely at half-time, and that's a really, really top-class win in the end by the Eagles, and a fantastic second-half performance, particularly from Sarr Nimley and Jason Page. but anchored by a really good defensive play. Bristol, obviously, as I say, went away from what they were doing in the first half, completely lost their way in the second half, and that's made it a very, very tough week for the side who are just clinging on to that 8th place position at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, lots of form at the worst possible time, isn't it? When, especially if Cheshire have picked up a win tonight, and obviously I don't know what the schedules are from now on in, but the Eagles have got some tough games coming up, but they will be really, really buoyant after that home performance tonight. Whatever you look at it, a 38-point turnaround is phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's nothing more can be said than that. And so I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope we didn't spoil your pizza and Prosecco down there, Dough Bowlers in Bristol, but that, I think you'd have to agree if you were watching it down in Bristol, that was some second half performance by the Eagles, and they take the win. So okay, so what have we got left for you this weekend on Live Basketball.tv, home of the British Basketball League? Well, on Saturday night, the league leaders, Leicester Riders and champions-elect, they take on Cheshire Phoenix. That'll be a tough game, tough matchup for both sides there. And then on Sunday, Leeds Force take on Leicester Riders, so back-to-back game there for the Riders. Glasgow Rocks face the Sheffield Sharks, that's a top 6 clash there, and Manchester Giants host the Worcester Wolves. So some really exciting games there for you to watch on livebasketball.tv. Whichever one you choose, I'm sure you'll enjoy it, as this sport of British basketball really is starting to thrive these days. But here from Sports Central tonight, from Dave and myself, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and it's the Eagles that take the win, 93-70.